Good day, everybody. So, today we're going to talk about the legal basis of SPED. So, bakit ba natin kailangang malaman? Ano ba yung mga laws governing special needs education? Bakit ba kailangan nating malaman, no, in the first place? Well, in reality, lahat ng tao na may kinalaman or involved sa providing goods and services to children with special needs should know or should be well versed about these laws concerning children with special needs, kagaya ng mga educational professionals, mga healthcare practitioners, even yung mga engineers or architects na mga nagde-design ng equipment or buildings for those with special needs. And syempre, if you're a parent or a guardian or you're advocating para sa mga special needs children, then you should know at least the basic laws governing or surrounding children with special needs. Hindi lang natin iaasa to sa mga lawyers kasi we all need it in order to provide yung mga services na kailangan nila. Baka mamaya we're not doing enough or baka naman mamaya we are already violating something. So we should know yung mga laws na to kasi itong mga laws na to are geared towards making their lives better or making things accessible for them. Yung mga accommodations in the environment na pwede naman i-provide for them, kasama dito sa mga laws na to. So dapat alam natin. Para rin we're on guard kasi baka mamaya naman we're not aware dun sa mga violations. Baka hindi tayo, baka yung ibang tao ang nakaka-violate ng mga rights nila. Pero since we're not aware of the law, nasasayang yung opportunity for us to defend them or to intervene. So let's go to the first one. Ito yung first legal basis of the care and protection of children with disabilities, and this was enacted in 1935. According to Article 356 and 259 of the Commonwealth Act number 3203, ang sinasabi dito, the right of every child to live in an atmosphere conducive to his physical, moral, and intellectual development, alongside with the natural duty of the government to what? To promote the full growth of the faculties of every child. This provision is very important for the care and protection of the disabled children. Bakit, no? Ang sinasabi dito, karapatan ng bawat bata na mabuhay sa isang lugar o sa isang environment na conducive, ibig sabihin na ayon na aakma sa mga kailangan niya for physical, moral, and intellectual development, for him or her to develop and flourish. And naturally, sabi niya, it follows na duty rin ng government na mag-provide or i-promote yung full growth of the faculties of every child. Ibig sabihin, the child should be able to reach his or her potentials regardless of the disability na meron siya. The next one naman is the Republic Act number 3562. It's an act to promote the education of the blind in the Philippines noong June 21, 1963. So kung naaalala nyo, noong 1963, ang daming movement, no, when it comes to the historical timeline of what happened in the past. So anong nangyari noon, no? Because of this act, Republic Act 3562, it has one of the provisions na meron siya is to provide a formal training of special education teachers of blind children at the Philippine Normal College. So, kasama na rin doon sa mga provision na nandun will be the rehabilitation of the Philippine National School for the Blind to provide better facilities, to provide better instruction for the blind. Now, the establishment of the Philippine Printing House for the Blind was also part of the provisions of this act. Kaya naman nagkaroon tayo ng sarili nating printing house, no? Because we want to be able to supply educational and assistive materials para sa mga people who are blind and visually impaired. So now that we have our own printing house, we can now create accessible learning materials, products, and services for people na may low vision or probably those who are blind nga. So, of course, the main purpose of this is to supply yung mga braille materials or braille books for them to be able to read. Few years ago, the Philippine National School for the Blind actually established their livelihood center. So the goal of this livelihood center is to be able to provide them livelihood opportunities. So, doon na mismo sa school itinayo, no? Back in 2018. So, I'm going to attach the link na lang of this video so you can also watch it. Good thing now, because of the advancements that are present in our time, no? The promotion of education for the blind is more achievable. If you look at these pictures, meron na ring Scrabbles na naka-braille system. If you want to play, meron na ring chess na custom-made specifically for blind players. Actually now, ang ganda nga kasi meron ng mga apps, meron na ring mga devices that follow voice command. So, hindi na kailangan na nakikita, pero just by the sound of your voice, it can do whatever you want or whatever assistance you need, pwedeng i-provide. So, you don't necessarily have to read everything or to see everything para to make the environment function for you. Parang si Alexa, 'di ba? Alexa, open the gate or turn on the TV. There are many ways, no? Alexa, add apples to my grocery list. Pwedeng ganon. So, hindi mo na kailangan na isulat, hindi mo na rin kailangan the literal list because of the advancements in the technology. Ang dami ng easier way for the blind in order to function better. Next, we have Republic Act number 5250. It's an act establishing a 10-year teacher training program for teachers of special and exceptional children. It was signed in 1968, and it provided for the formal training of teachers for deaf, hard of hearing, speech handicap, socially and emotionally disturbed children, those who are mentally retarded, and gifted children and youth at the Philippine Normal College and the University of the Philippines. Of course, the goal is to provide better student classroom needs para mas ma-identify ng mga teachers. And of course, to better prepare the teachers in facing the different conditions na pwede nilang kaharapin. No? And this is through the trainings, the professional development on special education for them to be more effective in the classroom setup. So, para ma-provide nila kung ano ba yung mga educational needs ng mga bata as well as to respond dun sa ibang needs that they may be presenting at the moment of teaching. Next, we have the 1973 Constitution of the Philippines. So, anong meron doon sa Section 8, Article 15? It says there, the government must provide a complete, adequate, and integrated system of education relevant to the goals of national development. So, ibig sabihin, if we are providing the universality of educational opportunities, education ng bawat mamamayan, no, as a primary concern of the government, it implies also that kailangan inclusive yung education natin when it comes to involving children and youth na may exceptionalities. So if the goal is to provide total education for everybody or education for all, sabi nga nila, everyone has to be included. So hindi pwedeng ma-disregard yung mga may disabilities or exceptionalities. In 1975, Presidential Decree number 603, or commonly known as the Child and Youth Welfare Code, was enacted. So in Article 3, on the rights of every child, nakasulat doon that the emotionally disturbed or socially maladjusted child shall be treated with sympathy and understanding, and shall be entitled to treatment and competent care. And the physically or mentally handicapped shall be given the education and care required by his particular condition. So I think that is pretty much clear na ibig sabihin yung mga emotionally disturbed or yung mga socially maladjusted children, we will treat them na may pagmamalasakit pa rin at iintindihin natin. Of course, we have to know the background. We can't just label them as pasaway or sakit sa ulo or may problema without addressing their needs. So, we have to be able to treat them kung halimbawa meron kailangan ng intervention program or may kailangan na therapy for these children who are socially maladjusted, then it has to be provided. At the same time, those with physical and mental conditions has to be given education and care required by the situation or kung ano yung required nung kanyang condition. In that youth and welfare code,
Whatever
meron
is
ding
needed,
Article
whatever is
74.
demanded nung
In
condition na
Article
meron siya,
74, it says
dapat yun
that
ang maibibigay,
there
ang
must be a creation of
marirespondehan.
special classes. Let me read. Thus, where needs warrant, there shall be at least special classes in every province, and if possible, special classes for the physically handicapped, the mentally retarded, the emotionally disturbed, and the specially gifted. The private sector shall be given all the necessary inducement and encouragement. This was enacted in the early attempts to provide special classes. Pero at least ngayon, hindi na one in every province na lang. So we can see na meron ng mga SPED centers in different areas. Not only one in Nueva Ecija, one in Bataan. Because that would be a long shot to reach everybody kung tigi-tigisa lang. If you remember, in the history, we discussed about the creation of this government agency, the National Commission Concerning Disabled Persons, or the NCCDP. It's in accordance with the Presidential Decree number 1509, and it happened in 1978. However, the NCCDP was renamed as National Council for the Welfare of Disabled Persons, naging NCWDP. Now, it's called National Council on Disability Affairs, or the Pambansang Sanggunian ukol sa ugnayang pangmaykapansanan. The vision of this government agency is for all persons with disabilities to be able to attain their fullest potential. And of course, for them to become active contributors and participants in nation building. So the goal is for them to promote equity and opportunity para sa mga disabled. At the same time, one of the things that they do is to promote or i-mainstream nila yung disability agenda sa mga local and national government processes, para hindi laging naiiwan yung ating mga persons with disabilities. There is this infomercial from NCDA that I will attach also the link here. Ang NCDA, meron silang Facebook page, you might want to visit it para makita nyo kung ano yung mga endeavors nila lately, ano yung mga activities that they have, and they are very active pagdating sa activities and programs that push for inclusion of persons with disabilities. Now, allow me to read to you the Education Act of 1902, or the Batas Pambansa bilang 232. It states that the state shall promote the right of every individual to relevant quality education regardless of sex, age, breed, socioeconomic status, physical and mental condition, social and ethnic origin, political and other affiliations. The state shall therefore promote and maintain equality of access to education and enjoyment of the benefits of education by all its citizens. Again, all provisions for inclusive education, walang maiiwan, Lahat ay mabibigyan ng equal opportunities o pantay na karapatan para sa education. In the same Batas Pambansa, in Section 24, it says here, Special Education Service, yun yung title niya. It says that the state shall further recognize its responsibility to provide, within the context of the formal education system, services to meet special needs of the clientele. Ibig sabihin, kasama na dito yung special education, the education of persons who are physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, culturally different from the so-called normal individuals, that they require modification of school practices or services to develop to their maximum capacity. Again, if it couldn't be emphasized better or more, sinasabi ng government, sinasabi ng mga laws or provisions na to, that no student should be left behind. No one should be left behind. Everyone must be given equal opportunity for them to reach their maximum capacity o ma-reach nila yung fullest potentials that they have. Next naman, we have the Accessibility Law, or the Batas Pambansa bilang 344. It was enacted in 1983, and it's called an act to enhance the mobility of disabled persons. So, ang ginagawa nito, it requires cars, buildings, institutions, establishments, and public utilities to to install facilities and other devices for persons with disabilities. I have also attached the link here for the full article of this Batas Pambansa. Now, allow me to just read a portion of Section 1. Sabi dito, educational institutions, airports, sports and recreation centers and complexes, shopping centers or establishments, public parking places, workplaces, public utilities shall be granted or issued yung license or permit for construction, repair, or renovation unless the owner or operator thereof shall install and incorporate in such building, establishment, institution, or public utility such architectural facilities or structural features as shall reasonably enhance the mobility of disabled persons, such as sidewalks, ramps, railings, and the like. If feasible, all such existing buildings, yung meron na, institutions, establishments, or public utilities to be constructed or established for which licenses or permits had already been issued may comply with the requirements of this law. Provided further that in case of government buildings, and highways, the Ministry of Public Works and Highways, now the DPWH, shall see to it that the same shall be provided with architectural facilities or structural features for disabled persons. In case of the parking place of any of the above institutions, buildings, or establishments or public utilities, the owner or operator shall reserve sufficient and suitable space for the use of disabled persons. Then again, if you look at the news that we watched a few days ago, the implementation or the realization of this accessibility law is almost close to zero. A sad reality, pero we know that there are many reasons behind it. So please take time and read the full article. The 1987 Constitution of the Philippines cites the rights of exceptional children to education in Article 14. Sabi sa Section 1, it declares that the state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make education accessible to all. Section 2 emphasizes that the state shall provide adult citizens, the disabled, and the out-of-school youth with training in civics, vocational efficiency, and other skills. So kung mapapansin nyo, this law is pushing for the equality na magkaroon ng access lahat ng tao o lahat ng citizens to quality education regardless of the age. Kasi if you look at Section 2, they also cover the adult citizens. And even yung mga out-of-school youth, pa-provide din pa rin ng mga trainings, vocational trainings. Ibig sabihin, those things that they can use. So even yung mga out-of-school youth, they even provide vocational trainings. What is this for, no? Para naman, kahit hindi sila nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral or wala talaga silang kakayahan, no, to go to school, then still they can acquire qualifications and skills na pwedeng mag-lead to productive employment. Pwedeng ganon. So that they could also be contributing to the society. In 1989 naman, pinatupad ang RA number 6759. It's the law that declared August 1 of each year as the White Cane Safety Day in the Philippines. It's to promote and protect the physical, moral, and social well-being of all handicapped persons, yan ang goal, such as the blind, and to undertake studies on specific causes of high percentage of blind people in the Philippines. Maybe you're wondering why white cane, no? Because before, for blind people talaga, they use a white cane because it's easy to see ng mga drivers, ng mga dumadaan, ng mga pedestrians, right? So, yung mga canes talaga, or a stick, was a very useful tool for them to navigate or for them to travel by themselves. And it allows them to travel safely and independently. Along the way, it has shifted over time, no? From safety, from independence, naging symbolic na yung cane toward independence and equality. So allow me to quote from the president of the National Federation of the Blind. Sabi niya, White Cane Awareness Day is our way of emphasizing the critical role that this tool plays in living the lives we want and informing the public about its true significance. Again, if you search in YouTube, napakaraming White Cane Safety Day videos. There are many advertisements about White Cane Safety every day pa nga no? But it is being celebrated all over the world, and it's very empowering for the blind people no, to be celebrated using this White Cane Safety Day, because nga it is symbolic that they can actually navigate the environment on their own. They can explore the world around them. So, taking it from the words of someone who is blind, no? Ang sabi niya, pagka nakita nyo kami na nasa daan, no? Na navigate ng daan namin using a cane na may tungkod, na nangangapa, hindi niya kailangan mag-shout ng warnings or kayo mismo i-guide nyo kami para yung cane namin ay hindi tumama sa maling direksyon. Ganon. Tandaan, sabi niya, na ginagamit namin yung mga tungkod namin para mag-explore, para malaman kung ano ba yung mga nasa paligid namin. Para yung extension of their hands, di ba? So, kung kailangan namin ng tulong, sabi nung blind, magtatanong kami. Kung ikaw naman ay nagde-drive o nagbabike, tapos nakakita ka ng tao na may gumagamit ng tungkod, then kailangan you follow the law and stop to give the person the right of way. So, ganun din tayo sa mga pedestrian pag naglalakad. Paunahin natin sila. The next law is a very important one. So, it's called Republic Act 7610, or the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. So ano ang napapaloob doon? It's an act providing for strong deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, providing penalties for its violation and other purposes. In Section 2, allow me to read yung mga state policies and principles na nakapaloob doon. Sabi, it is hereby declared to be the policy of the state to provide special protection to children from all forms of abuse, neglect, cruelty, exploitation, and discrimination and other conditions prejudicial their development. Provide sanctions for their commission and carry out a program for prevention and deterrence of and crisis intervention in situations of child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination. The state shall intervene on behalf of the child when the parent, guardian, teacher, or person having care or custody of the child fails or is unable to protect the child against abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, or when such acts against the child are committed by the said parent, guardian, teacher, or person having care and custody of the same. Actually, nakakalungkot because it's a sad reality na ang biktima ng abuse kadalasan ay mga bata na may special needs. Bakit? No? Kasi hindi naman nila masasabi, hindi naman sila makakapagsumbong. Last weekend, I attended a seminar about sign language. So yung facilitator namin, he talks about the use of sign language, bakit importante. And then he suddenly recalled of a time na in 1 week, 3 beses siyang pinatawag sa presinto. So every time ipapatawag siya sa presinto, kinakabahan na siya. Hindi siya pinatawag dahil meron siyang na-violate. Pero kasi yung na-abuse na ni-report ay hindi marunong makipag-communicate. So yung mga police officers na nandun, wala rin namang marunong mag-sign language, kaya siya yung pinatawag. So every time, sabi niya, and he was near to tears, no, nung habang kinukwento niya, every time he would be called to the presinto during that week, he was very nervous kasi alam niya na what's coming. Alam niya na meron na namang isang bata na naabuso. At ang nakakalungkot, according to statistics, ang mga nang-aabuso hindi naman kapitbahay, no? Kundi yung mga tao na nasa loob ng pamilya, nasa loob mismo ng bahay. So, ang nangyayari, dahil nga, halimbawa, deaf yung bata, hindi naman niya naririnig yung danger sa paligid, hindi naman din siya makapagsumbong, no? Hindi niya ma-voice out yung nangyari. So, there's difficulty to express and communicate kung ano ba talaga yung nangyari, ano ba talaga yung ginawa sa kanya, sino ba talaga yung gumawa. Because the other person or the perpetrator could just deny it. 'Di ba? Kaya siya pinatawag para siya yung mag-communicate, no, doon sa victim, and then isa-sign niya yung tanong ng police, and then siya naman sasagot naman through sign language din yung bata, tapos siya yung magsasabi sa police kung ano bang nangyari, sino ba ang gumawa. So imagine ng pandemic, the reporting of all this abuse, it was very hard. No, nung wala pang pandemic, mahirap nang mag-report ng mga ganitong kaso ng abuse and exploitation, discrimination for that matter. Pero how much more nung pandemic when we were not allowed to go out. So those who live with their abusers, andun lang din sa bahay, right? In the year 2000 naman, there was a Presidential Proclamation number 361. So, ang sinasabi lang doon, they set the new dates for the National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week celebration. Ginawa na nilang every third week of July, which shall culminate dun sa birthday ni Apolinario Mabini. Si Apolinario Mabini, sa mga hindi nakakilala sa kanya, isang paralitiko pero nagsilbi bilang utak ng himagsikan during his time, and he's also considered as the national hero in the Philippines. So para mas symbolic at madali ring tandaan, so isinabay na dun sa birthday niya. Actually, his birthday is July 23. So tamang-tama, every third week of July ang celebration ng National Disability Prevention and Rehabilitation Week. In 2004, pinatupad yung Newborn Screening Act or the Republic Act number 9288. So, ano bang sinasabi doon? It works on the premise or sa assumption that a retarded child could have been normal kung na-check lang sana. Kasi may mga ganong cases before. No, sabi dito, a drop of blood can save the baby from mental retardation and death. So, ang ginagawa, if you're familiar with newborn screening, sa mga bagong panganak, no, newborn nga eh. So, mga bagong panganak, within the first 24 hours of birth, ginagawa ito. So, if the test is given late, ang nagiging problema, the baby can either die or eventually be severely retarded. Kasi machi-check agad doon, no, yung 5 metabolic disorders. What are these 5 metabolic disorders na posibleng makaapekto dun sa bata during the first few weeks of life? Very crucial yung first 6 weeks ng bata after birth. So ano-ano yung mga condition na yon? Chine-check ng newborn screening kung meron bang congenital hypothyroidism, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, galactosemia, phenylketonuria, and G6PD deficiency ang mga bata. Ang ginagawa dito, kumukuha sila ng blood sample from the heel dun sa talampakan ng bata. And then they test it. Ngayon, titignan nila kung present itong mga 5 metabolic disorders. Ngayon, if hindi detected itong mga to, these disorders may cause severe mental retardation, pwede ring cataract sa eyes, severe anemia, or even death. No? Pero kung ma-diagnose ang mga to early enough, the child can grow up as a normal, healthy human being. So, yung 24-hour window na pagkapanganak pa lang ng bata, very important yon because it's a matter between life and death. So, halimbawa, yung baby nakitaan na positive siya dun sa mga disorders na nabanggit. So, i-inform yung parents. Tapos, they will conduct other tests to confirm yun ngang condition ng bata. So, syempre, pag na-properly diagnose yung bata, proper treatment also will be given to the baby. Tapos, whatever correction is needed, pwedeng mabigay, no? Yun nga lang, kapag on the other end, kapag hindi yun na-diagnose agad, it could lead to very unpleasant consequences. Actually, in Section 21, no, ang nire-require talaga, all hospitals, birthing facilities, rural health units, health centers, and other collecting units throughout the country, may sabihin lahat, no exemptions, shall have NBS or newborn screening specimen collection kits at all times. Ang advertisement na pinakalat nila noon was a picture of a child in a stroller. No? Pero the child looks so small and so sickly. Tapos nakasulat doon, beside the picture of the child, it says they're 14 years old, may karamdaman. Sana na newborn screening. Sana naagapan. So, maganda itong act na ito kasi it will help you detect early yung mga life-threatening conditions for your baby. Now, allow me to end the discussion using this video. I also attached the link here. Now, the UNICEF is pushing for protection, child protection, right? And sabi dito, ang bata na may disability suffers from discrimination and of course isolation dahil nga feeling discriminated, dahil feeling alone siya in his battle. Now, UNICEF is calling for a change in the attitude. You know, itong mga laws na pinag-usapan natin, binanggit natin, posibleng meron pang iba na hindi natin na-touch, no? Pero itong mga nabanggit natin ay napakagaganda. Actually, maayos lahat, no? In place naman. Yun nga lang, when the attitude of the people will not change towards these people with disabilities, well, walang kwenta yung mga batas, no? Take for example, yung accessibility law. It's there, pero it's not really felt. 'Di ba? Now, let's look at the Child and Youth Welfare Code. Nangyayari ba to? Na nabibigyan ba talaga lahat ng equal treatment and care? Paano pag socially maladjusted yung bata, no? Nagsa-substance abuse, halimbawa, from the perspective of an outsider o dun sa tao na hindi naman siya kakilala, it's very easy to judge, no? Ay, talagang pasaway o talagang hindi na magbabago yan. So, pag hindi natin binago yung attitude natin towards them, it's very hard to give them the proper treatment and care. Sa mata ng mga tao, ay addict to, salot, ganun agad. No? Pero sa batas, sabi doon, kailangan yung mga bata na gumagamit ng drugs or sa substance abuse nga ay dapat tinutugon na natin yung kailangan na treatment. Nangyayari ba sa totoong buhay? In your community, probably there's one or two na mga bata who are known for substance abuse, pero natutulungan ba? Natutugunan ba? Meron bang rehabilitation center for them? Or do they even get the chance na mapansin ng gobyerno? O hindi naman, no? Itutumba na lang para walang problema. Right? So, the UNICEF calls for a change in attitude more than anything. You know, we can provide all the laws all we want. Diba? Dagdagan pa natin. Marami tayong maiisip. Right? We can think of 1,000 more laws surrounding these children and youth with special needs. Pero if we won't be able to change our attitudes, no, deep in our hearts, hindi naman nagbabago yung tingin natin sa kanila, then all these laws that we have created and we will soon be creating ay mapupunta lang sa wala. So I hope that's clear. Now for your homework, I will put a separate attachment for it. Alright, have a nice day.